Ji sir, good morning.
A very good morning to everyone. We shall just begin the program. We are waiting for our chief guest. I convey a good morning to all our teachers, the chairperson of our governing body, Shri Ajay Bhatia, retired teachers, and everyone who has joined us today to make this a memorable occasion. I believe our chief guest has also joined. Yeah. Sir, Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar has joined us.
Now you can see.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Good morning. His name is there as
On behalf
but
of the College Fraternity, I am privileged to welcome our chief guest for today's program, noted academician Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, the Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University. I extend a very hearty welcome to our respected principal, Dr. Shiv Kumar Sehdev, the chairman of our governing body, Sri Ajay Bhatia, retired teachers, colleagues, and students. As we are proudly celebrating the Diamond Jubilee year of our institute, one of the endeavors planned throughout the year are a series of invited lectures by eminent speakers of repute. We are ecstatic to have amongst us Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, scientist, academician, and the current Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University. He has been credited with the development of the genetically engineered vaccine against anthrax. We are honored to have you here with us, sir. In the words of the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, education is the basic tool for the development of consciousness and the reconstitution of society. It is the first step for people to gain knowledge, critical thinking, empowerment, and skills they need to make this world a better place. Shivaji College is the preferred choice for students from imparting knowledge to first generation learners in the 1960s to catering to the academic needs of the students in the present day. Our college was established in 1961 by the late Honorable Dr. Panjab Rao Deshmukh, the Union Minister for Agriculture and a renowned social activist and farmer leader. Having been accredited with grade A by NAC, adjudged rank 51 by National Institute Ranking Framework MHRD Government of India, having been awarded the financial grant under the Star College scheme by the Department of Biotechnology Government of India, we have definitely come a long way. The vision of our college is to transform one life, transform the nation to become a premier institute that brings forth bright, skilled, and well balanced individuals. Even in the time of the unprecedented pandemic, the college has made numerous efforts to keep the faculty and students abreast with latest developments all over, paying more stress on their mental well being and using this time as an opportunity instead of any setback. It is a tradition of our college to begin all events on an auspicious note through lighting the lamp and soaking the illumination to reflect within. Our principal, chairperson of the governing body, and a few colleagues carried out this moment for us a few days back in the premises and captured the video for us to play here.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापं सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु।
Let us further.
Hello, Hriday, I'll tell my secretary to do the needful. Okay.
Let us further evoke the blessings of Goddess Saraswati by partaking in the soulful rendition of the mantra.
या कुंदेन्दु तुषार हार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्ड मंडित करा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शंकर प्रभृति भी देवे सदा पूजिता सामापतु सरस्वती भगवती निश्वेत जाद्यापः ॐ शान्ति।
I would now like to invite our college principal, Dr. Shiv Kumar Sehdev, to address our audience.
Could you please unmute? I am not able to hear.
Mr. Rakesh Bhatnagar ji, Mr. Ajay Bhatia ji, all esteemed guests, my colleagues and dear students, very warm good morning to all of you. I thank you all for joining us in another shining occasion where we celebrate the Diamond Jubilee of our institution, Shivaji College. As part of our celebrations, we plan to organize a series of events where we will receive enlightening interactions with the eminent guests. We have successfully initiated the inaugural lecture for the Diamond Jubilee on 30th October, where our honorable chief guest was Professor M. Jagdish Kumar, Vice Chancellor JNU, and guest of honor Professor P.C. Joshi, Vice Chancellor of Delhi University. Today we are proud to have among us Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar ji, a renowned scholar and a scientist who is pioneer in the field of medicine. It is an immense pleasure to have you with us, sir, and we look forward to your presence and wise words on this important moment for our college. As the baton of principalship was passed on to me just before COVID-19, it's my privilege to say that the college has stepped forward in facing a global crisis and has weathered all challenges and difficulties. We have digital classrooms and up-to-date technology and facilities. Online workshops, webinars, and activities are conducted by all departments and committees regularly. We have set the trend for a new era of digitalization in the new normal. And for the future, we hope to attain greater heights with an exceptional teaching, learning environment. Welcome to all of you once again. May our torch always shine strong and continue to spread the brightest of lights. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. Shivaji College has had an engaged, supportive alumni network who has been an integral part of the growth of our institute. We have two videos here from our alumni, which we want to share with the audience. First, we have Dr. R.B. Solanki, Vice Chancellor, Chairperson at Chaudhry Ranbir Singh University, Jeend, Haryana, an alumnus of the Commerce Department batch of 1974.
मैं डॉक्टर आर.बी. सोलंकी, alumnus of Shivaji College, Delhi. I was student of BCom Honors first batch from 1971 to 74. At present, I am working as Vice Chancellor of Chaudhry Ranbir Singh University, Jeend, and have additional charge of Vice Chancellor of Chaudhry Devilal University, Sirsa, both state government universities. I am really proud of the teachers of the Shivaji College, and I am proud of the institution and its administrators, especially Dr. Tulsi Ram and Dr. S.S. Rana. As a mark of respect to this institution, I named one of the hostels of Chaudhry Ranbir Singh University as Chhatrapati Shivaji Chhatravas. I wish to pay my regards to this great institution and to its teachers. I wish all the best to the present and past students of this great institution known as Shivaji College, Delhi.
Next, we have a message from Professor Anil Grover, an alumnus from Botany Department of the batch of 1977, who is currently head Department of Plant Molecular Biology, South Campus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Anil Grover. I am professor and head of the department at Plant Molecular Biology Department at Delhi University South Campus. I owe my progress in academic career to the excellent teaching I received at Shivaji College. I did BSc Honours Botany way back in 1974 to 1977 batch. The teachers in Shivaji College and the atmosphere was very good. And even today, when I come to college, I see that people have the same zeal to teach, and the atmosphere is unparalleled. I am very happy to see this progress of Shivaji College. I think there are many people like me who have been benefited by the teaching at Shivaji College, and I wish you all the best for the future journey of the college. I am unassigned ambassador of this college. Even today, when people ask me about the career guidance, I give Shivaji College the full marks. 3 years back, there was a girl student from my neighborhood, Tanya Maniktala, who asked me what should I do. I said you can go for English honors at Shivaji College. And today she is a film star. I wish all the best to the faculty of this college and to the growth of this college. Namaskar. Thank you.
I now hand over the virtual dais to my colleague, Dr. Ishna Nigam.
Thank you, Dr. Ankita Dua. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the chief guest for today, Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar, Vice Chancellor, Banaras Hindu University. Professor Bhatnagar has served as Chairman Governing Body, Vallabhbhai Patel Chest Institute, Delhi, Dean of School of Biotechnology at Jawaharlal Nehru University, and Vice Chancellor at Kumaon University, Nainital. He is currently the president of Indian Society of Biotechnology as well as director of DIVACC Research Laboratory BSL3 facility at School of Biotechnology, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Professor Bhatnagar has made significant contributions in the field of modern medicine. He has developed a genetically engineered vaccine against anthrax, DNA vaccine against rabies, and a vaccine against streptococcal infections, a first of its kind that will fight a disease that causes more than 5 lakh deaths per year. He is not only a renowned research scholar and pioneer in the field of medical research, but an accomplished administrator as well. He has established a 430 bedded super specialty block equipped with 13 modular operation theaters, 50 intensive care units, and 19 critical care units at Banaras Hindu University. The building is presently functioning as level 3 COVID hospital. He has also instituted a bone marrow transplant and stem cell research center at the university. He is the recipient of several prestigious awards and fellowships. He received the President's Award for Best Innovation from the President of India in 2016, the J.C. Bose National Fellow Award from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India in 2015, and is a reviewer of numerous esteemed international journals such as Vaccine, Molecular Immunology, and many more to count. He has also collaborated with professors at international universities such as Wageningen University, Netherlands, University of Washington, and many more. I now hand over the virtual dice to Professor Bhatnagar to enlighten our enthusiastic students with his knowledge. Sir, you are on unmute. So please unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah. Am I unmuted?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. First of all, let me congratulate Shivaji College for their Diamond Jubilee celebration. I have been very fortunate that I have been receiving a lot of students who have studied their undergraduate education, particularly BSc Honors in Biochemistry from Delhi University, and including Shivaji College. And they have done remarkably well during their stay in Jawaharlal Nehru University, where I spent something like more than 30 years of my active academic life before moving to Banaras Hindu University. So let me officially congratulate Principal of Shivaji University, Professor Sahdev, and all the faculty members of Shivaji University, your chairman of the governing body, and all the teachers and all the students who have joined us online or offline. Congratulations for your Diamond Jubilee. And today, the topic I have chosen to discuss with you in an informal chat is good quality of education, particularly at primary and secondary level, can transform the country. If you look at India, you know, we got freedom something like 73 years back. And at that time, we were underdeveloped country. And gradually, we became a developing country. But the journey from developing country to developed country is quite crucial, and which requires a relook. How can we do that? I still remember Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam used to say quite often while giving the talks that India will become developed country by 2020. Do you remember all that? Perhaps yes. And 2020 is only 31 or 32 days are left, and we are going to enter 2021. Have we ever pondered why we have not become the developed country? What is wrong with the country? And what can we do as responsible citizens to make this happen? So let's try to look at my own journey of life. I was born in a very poor family. I lived in a one-room house where, you know, we had to share the toilet with our neighbors. We were 8 persons living in one room. My parents, I had 5 sisters, and myself. 8 of us were living. There was not even room to put 4 small cots in the room. So we used to have a makeshift arrangement that 2 cots of the different heights, you know, were made so that one can go under the other one, so that we can only take out during the night, and during the day there is some room to move around. My father was a psychiatric patient, and quite often he used to lose his job, and we were not sure whether tomorrow we are going to have food or not. So that was my background. I started in a small city of Kanpur, where they could give me education up to 10th grade only. And let me put here on record that our teachers were very good. They were dedicated. They were interested that all the children learn whatever they are supposed to do at primary and secondary level. And unless I would have got that kind of quality education, I would not have been sitting over here as a Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University. So the primary and secondary education is the foundation. And unless this foundation is very strong, you cannot think of making a strong building of higher education and a culture of innovation, which is required for making any country developed. I mean, if you look at the history of United States or UK or Europe or Australia or any other country, no country has become developed country unless they have started participating in innovation. And since I was part of the innovation throughout my life, I would like to share with you that the most important thing where I would like to say was important was my primary and secondary education. My teachers were very dedicated. Even, I used to live, just 3 houses away from my school. So when my teachers are passing by my home, they used to ask me, if you don't understand a thing, suppose there are exams going on, they used to think if they have any doubt in any kind of, questions in mathematics or physics or anything, they used to ask us, beta, can we help you? And if you have any doubt, they were very happy to help us. Unfortunately, that culture has gone. Today, primary and secondary education of higher quality is either available in very expensive schools, usually they are private schools, or they are available at the most in central schools. But if you talk about ordinary school, including government schools, quite often you find that teachers are missing, the teaching aids are missing, or even students are missing, and quality of teaching is terribly bad. If you have that kind of foundation, if you have that kind of starting up, I don't think this country can ever become developed country. I really thank the teaching culture of central school, as well as many foundations and many private schools who are doing great job in teaching our younger minds to make their concepts clear. Quite often, what is happening, if you try to find out the learning outcome of these ordinary schools, it's pathetic. A student of class 5 is not able to add or subtract or multiply or divide or able to understand a paragraph written in Hindi or English and explain it to us in his or her own language. So comprehension is very bad. And if a person cannot communicate, I think it's a big handicap in the society. The person cannot progress. So when I look at my own life, I had very good primary and secondary education. And once I finished my 10th grade, my parents told me that they don't have money to send me to 11th grade. I was shocked. I was looking forward to go to the 11th grade, but there was no money. But it doesn't matter. Even up to 10th grade, I got good education, and I immediately started looking for a job. And my cousin was leaving his job and joining army. So I went to the same company and asked if it is possible that I can get the same job which my cousin is resigning. And the company fellow told me, yes, your cousin was very honest, very hardworking. And if you're like him, I have no problem in giving you the job. And let me tell you, that was only 100 rupees per month job. And I did that job for 2 years. And I was a peon to manager of the company, because there were only two people who were educated. The owner of the company, he was also a 10th grader, and I was also a 10th grader. But we together started managing company, and I still remember it had a small factory with 20 employees, and I used to take care of all the jobs to be given to these 20 employees. I used to take care of the production. I used to supply it to the bigger companies. I used to collect the money from the big companies and go to the bank, deposit the money, withdraw the money, and use it for day-to-day expenses. I used to call the engineers from Bombay. If a machine was down, I used to get it fixed. So, I mean, suffice is to say that I did practically everything to run that company. So once I worked for 2 years, and now you can imagine that even by having education up to 10th grade, I had the confidence to run a company. So for 2 years, I ran that company, and then I collected enough money, and I thought, let me go back to 11th grade. Once I told the owner of the company that I want to leave the company, he was a little disappointed, and he said, are you going to a bigger company on a higher salary? I said, no, I want to go back to school. I want to join 11th grade. He was very happy that I am going back to school, but he proposed that since you came to work to collect the money to go back to 11th grade, you are welcome to come every summers to spend summers in my factory, and we will be paying you little enhanced salary than what you are getting. So that means a summer job was guaranteed for me every summers. Perhaps I'm talking about late 60s or early 70s. At that time, summer jobs were never heard of. People used to finish their education, and then they used to try out a job, and then they used to work. But I had a summer job already. So every summers, I went back and worked about 2 to 3 months to collect the money so that I can buy my books and I can pay my tuition fee, which used to be usually waived for me or 50% waived for me. And so once again, I'm emphasizing the kind of grounding I had during my primary and secondary education gave me the confidence to do anything. So like that, when I finished my 12th grade, I was studying biology and chemistry, and my wish was if I could study medicine, but there was no chance because studying medicine was very expensive even though during those days. So I decided to be as close as possible to medicine. So I studied biology and chemistry and finally finished my master's in chemistry. And after finishing my master's, again, just like every summer, I went to work in that company. And my company owner thought that now I have finished my education and perhaps I'm going to work forever for him. And after some times, I got admission in biochemistry department of National Sugar Institute to do my PhD. And I wanted to resign the job. And he asked me, why are you resigning your job? Now you have finished your master's. Why don't you work with me? So I said, no, I am going to do my PhD. So he said, what money are you going to get in your PhD? And I said, 400 rupees per month fellowship. And he said, I can give you 500 rupees. So I said, no, I would like to go for my PhD. So he said, I can make the offer better. Maybe I will give you 5% of my total profit earned in the whole year as a working partnership. I said, no, it doesn't interest me. He said, okay, you can go, but if you change your mind, don't worry, the doors will remain open. So I decided to go for PhD and did my PhD in biochemistry, which was a little more closer to medical sciences. While working for my PhD, let me tell you, I had little apprehensions, whether I will get a decent job after doing PhD or not, whether I will be able to get a good postdoc to work in United States or somewhere in Europe. So all those apprehensions were there. So what I decided, since I am doing a lot of research, why not I innovate something and I can start my own company. And I tell you, a young man of 24-year-old, I decided to start a startup. Today, our Prime Minister is always saying about startups. He's always talking about Make in India. But I tell you, at the age of 24, I did startup and I did Make in India. I started a company who could make a product for leather industry in Kanpur. So I made that product in the laboratory in the evening and distributed free samples to all the industry in Kanpur by going on a bicycle and collected the opinion whether the product is good or not. And I got very good feedback. And we started a small startup in a small room, 12 by 8. And that company was profit making, and we had wonderful time along with one of my friends. We both used to run that company and earn profits. Today, the country is talking about startup culture, make in India culture. You should be entrepreneur so that you can give jobs to others. You should not be a job seeker. You should be a job provider. But all those things I could do because I had good education, particularly at primary and secondary level, followed by my undergrad education and my PhD. After doing my PhD, I went abroad. In fact, a German professor came to my institute and gave a talk. And once he gave the talk, I asked an interesting question. And the German professor was so impressed with that interesting question that he offered me a job in Germany. And he gave me the immigration papers, etc. I got married with my wife, Nirupama, and we both moved to Germany. Over there, we had a wonderful postdoctoral training, and I learned wonderful culture of German society. They are very hardworking people. They don't stop until they succeed, and that is what I learned in Germany. And followed by that, I came back to India for a while and worked in PGI Chandigarh as assistant professor. Once I and my wife felt that no, let us go back again abroad, and we went to France and then to United States. And finally, JNU attracted me because I delivered a talk over there, and they offered me a job. I never applied for a job. I was never interviewed. And that was the culture during those days, that you can invite anyone to join if the person is really good. So I was very fortunate that JNU offered me a job, and I started working over there. And since it was a school of biotechnology, I decided that let's do something which makes some difference in the society. And I still remember that in 1994, when West Bengal was battling epidemic of anthrax, I decided to develop a recombinant vaccine, that means genetically engineered vaccine against anthrax. So Department of Biotechnology supported me all these years, and we developed vaccine against anthrax, which was transferred to a biotech company and at a unprecedented technology transfer fee. And in the process, I was benefited, my students were benefited, and the technology went to a company where they did clinical trials up to phase 2. And similarly, let me share this thing with you, that one of your faculty members, Parul Kulshrestha, she joined my laboratory, and I gave her an interesting project, that what if somebody has not taken the anthrax vaccine, how can we treat anthrax? Because anthrax is a very dangerous disease. If you acquire inhalation anthrax, no matter how much antibiotics you give, the person is going to die. Death is almost guaranteed. So we decided to launch a project where we are going to develop a therapeutic vaccine, therapeutic antibody, so that if the person gets this, you can give therapeutic antibody along with antibiotics, and the person can be treated and sent home within 2 days. So that was the project. And the student who is working with you, who is assistant professor in your institution, Shivaji College, she made this dream successful. She could develop a antibody which was able to neutralize the dangerous lethal toxin produced by this disease. And if you use it along with the antibiotics in the animal model, we could treat anthrax disease 100%. So now you see that a good education, for example, Parul Kulshrestha also went to Central School. Very good education system they have. They select very good teachers. They teach them well. And by and large, we have a very successful academic culture in all the central schools in the country. That is something like 1,100 central schools in the country. So we did that, again with Kulshrestha, who had very good education. Followed by, she went to Delhi University, finally did her master's from Delhi University and joined my laboratory. Similarly, we tried to develop another wonderful product for Dr. Lal Path's laboratory. They were struggling to do this drug resistance mycobacterial diagnosis at a very high cost, because the machine as well as the cartridge which is used to diagnose the disease was all imported. It was costing 2,700 rupees to buy those things. And then if Lalpat does that, they are going to charge 4,000 to 5,000 rupees to diagnose the drug resistance TB. So they came to me and they said that, is it possible to reduce down the cost? I said, sure, it's possible. And again, another student who also did her master's from Delhi University, she joined my group, and we tried to develop a beautiful system, which is an open platform. And the cost of diagnosis became only 206 rupees. So poor people can also afford this simple technology. So what I'm telling is, if your primary, secondary education is good, and on top of that, if you have higher education, you can make wonders, and you can develop things, you can be innovative, you can develop things which may be useful for the society. And that's what I'm going to emphasize in the rest of my talk, how India can be transformed by giving good quality of higher education at primary and secondary level. Just look at, this country produces more than 2 crore children, more than 20 million children every year. But how many of them are able to get to good education system? Not even 50%. So what we can do is, I think we have to replicate the model of central school. Currently, we have about 1,100 central schools in the whole country, which is nothing. Ideally, I mean, I've lived in Germany, I've lived in France, I've lived in the United States. There, the primary, secondary education of higher quality is guaranteed for each citizen. We are not able to do that in the last 72 years. Where is the problem? See, we have done a very successful experiment of central school. Their teachers are highly motivated. They are selected on a competitive basis. First, you look at their academic record. Then you do a competitive exam where their knowledge of the subject is checked, followed by the interview. So quality of their teacher is very good, and they are dedicated. They impart very good education to young minds. That has to be replicated in the whole country. So in my estimate, if we start 50,000 new central schools in the whole country, so something like, every kilometer there is a central school, and the central school admission has to be something like a guarantee by the government that anybody can walk in who is living in the 1 kilometer square area and take the admission. And let me tell you that this is not expensive. Recently, you heard that country has given 20 lakh crore package for this to tie up with this COVID situation. When country can spend 20 lakh crores, I think starting 50,000 schools is not a big deal. And let us take the example of Kerala. Kerala started, a movement about 40-50 years back that all their children have to be educated. And within no time, they could have 100% literacy. And now you see that 100% literacy has changed the Kerala. Kerala used to be a poor state. Today, they are flourishing with the tourism industry. All their children are educated. Their healthcare is better. In any index, they figure out on top of the list. And this is all because of their primary and secondary education. I think in the whole country, rather I would say whole world, Keralite nurses are working. I tell you, if Keralite nurses are not there in Delhi or in New York or in London, the medical system will collapse. It's all because of the good education given by Kerala government in Kerala. Therefore, if we open 50,000 central schools in the whole country, and 50,000 schools may not cost us a lot. Suppose, let us say, each school building costs us 5 crore rupees. So it's only a matter of 250,000 crore, which is nothing. See, we have given 20 lakh crore package to tie up with this COVID situation. So why can't we spend 250,000 crore rupees? Sure, we can. And as far as running expenses of the schools are concerned, country is charging 2% cess. So if you give even 1% cess of the whole tax collection, I think it is more than enough to run all the schools in the country. Plus, all the constituency developing money, which is paid to all MPs and MLAs and corporators and municipality people, if that money is given to the school, I can tell you, if your quality of education will be good, you will produce not only good teachers, good doctors, good engineers, good entrepreneurs, you will also produce good skilled people. For example, in Delhi, because I belong to Delhi, I can tell you, if you are looking for a good carpenter or a good plumber or a good electrician, it's hard to find. Anybody who moves from a poor state to Delhi, he holds a few instruments and comes to your house and says that I am plumber, I am electrician, and does a very poor job. This is all because, see, you ask a plumber to lay a pipeline from one place to another, I can guarantee you it will never be straight. The reason is that the guy has never learned what is straight line. He has never gone to school, or even if he has gone to school, he has dropped out from 5th grade or 7th grade. So if we give good education to our children and make their concepts clear, what is straight line? I'm sure he will be able to do a good job. Once I got an electrician in my house, he was doing a good job. I was wondering, how come he is doing a good job? He told me he's a 12th grader. After that, he did ITI electrician training. And after that, he went to Middle East to work in a company. and he learned to do work more systematically, and therefore he is doing a right job. So we have to train our people, give them skill so that they will be better employed rather than earning the minimum wages. So with these words, I would like to say that if the country would really like to become a developed country, we need innovation. There are two ways. Either you innovate yourself, the other way is you pay for the innovation. We, as a country of 1.3 billion people, perhaps we can never afford to pay for innovation. This can only be afforded maybe by some Middle Eastern country who have free petrol, or it can be afforded by a country who have gold mines or diamond mines. So they are getting money more or less free of cost. They can afford that. But country like India, we have to feed 1.3 billion people. You still remember that once upon a time, we never used to have enough food grains. We used to import this food grains from Australia and from United States. And the situation was ship to mouth. We could only eat if the ship comes, otherwise not. But think about Green Revolution. This was innovation. Of course, here we took help of United States under PL 480 program and tried to develop dwarf variety of wheat, Mexican variety, and that's how we could increase our production of wheat. And today, the country is not only self-sufficient in food grain production, we are also able to export some of the rice, some of the food grains outside India. But this has all happened because of the innovation in agriculture sciences. Similarly, India became the hub for generic drugs. See, generic drugs made in India are cheapest in the world. How we could do it? Again, it was innovation. Unless we were innovative, but that innovation we could do because at that time, the patent regime was only process patent, not the product patent. So any new invention which took place in Europe or in the United States, if we are making the same drug by following a different route, we were not breaking the patent. And we could make cheaper drugs. But 2005 onwards, the patent laws have changed. Now you have to either invent a new drug, otherwise you cannot copy anymore. Therefore, all the new drugs are expensive in India, but all the old drugs are very cheap, cheapest in the whole world. And that is why it happens that a person from Australia comes and takes the treatment of hepatitis C, stays in India for 3 months, goes back, and his cost of treatment is less than if he would have taken the treatment in Australia. So this has all become, because of the innovation. So today, we have to innovate, otherwise we cannot progress. So if we want this country to become developed country, the only remedy is have very good foundation of primary and secondary education. And then you go to college or university and learn how to innovate by imparting a very good understanding of the basic concepts in sciences and try to develop a research culture in the university systems. Let me tell you that when I came to Banaras Hindu University, we started a very ambitious project. We call it a discovery center. So we made a 6-story building and we are equipping it with 150 crore worth of higher end equipments. Because India needs innovation. India needs original research where you can file patents, both Indian patents as well as American patents, so that any innovation you do, you can protect it for next 20 years. And that is only possible if you have very good grounding at the primary and secondary level, followed by very good education at undergrad and postgraduate level, followed by very good training in research. I'm very fortunate that when I came to Jawaharlal Nehru University, I got a very good ecosystem over there. The place, whatever I am, I give a lot of credit to Jawaharlal Nehru University because they had a wonderful research culture. They were least bureaucratic. I could do everything which I wanted without going through hurdles of bureaucracy, which is usually present in government institutions. So we could innovate things, we could develop vaccines, we could develop diagnostics things. And today I have incorporated a new company, DIVAC Research Laboratories Private Limited, for development of diagnostics and vaccines. Similarly, in Jawaharlal Nehru University, once I came over here, I decided to start a discovery center over here. And to do this discovery, we need younger minds. So we advertise 600 faculty positions. And we did this hiring in record time. So we have inducted 450 younger minds. And all these 450 younger minds are from the best places. For example, I have attracted people from Harvard, from MIT, from Stanford, from Yale, from Oxford, from different US universities, from European universities, from Singapore, from Australia, from IITs, from IIC Bangalore, etc. So we got wonderful battalion of younger people. Benares is a different kind of place. And even in Delhi, if you don't provide them accommodation, you can never retain them. Because I still remember when I came to Delhi and joined Jawaharlal Nehru University, I used to live in Vasant Kunj, and half of my salary was going as my rent. I used to get something like 5,500 rupees salary, and the 2,500 rupees I used to give rent, 500 rupees for electricity and water, and 2,000 rupees I used to pay for my children education, and 500 rupees was my petrol bill. So I haven't started eating and all my salary is over. So I decided when I came to BHU that we have to provide on-campus accommodation on day one. Then only we can attract the best minds and they can work without going through the hassle of renting a flat and facing the traffic and living in a wonderful environment of this great university, which was founded by Mahamana Madan Mohan Malviya. And let me tell you, Mahamana Madan Mohan Malviya had a very 104 years back, he started this university against the wishes of British. British gave him a target that you can, if you want to start a university, you have to have land and you have to have 1 crore rupees corpus in your bank account. And this man had the courage to accept this challenge. And he went from town to town and pleaded with people to donate generously the money. The whole university was made with generous donations. Today, I see that very few people donate money for education. Ideally, this is the best philanthropic activity anybody can do. And therefore, I have decided that whenever I stop working and whatever wealth I am left with, I would like to spend for philanthropic activity for education of children in India. If you do that, you are going to make great future of this country. So what I was telling you that this 450 young minds we wanted to attract. So what we did, we started making 600 new flats in Benares Hindu University. And let me tell you, first we borrowed the money from our corpus and started making, and then we applied for a grant, and which took 1 year and 9 months to get it from the government. But in the meantime, my flats were ready, ground plus 9 floors, and I only had to add the 10th floor, and we could get it. So, but there are people who believe in philanthropy. So we could get a cancer hospital from Tata's. So now we have a cancer hospital on BHU campus itself. We have philanthropic activity done by many people. For example, in BHU, I have been emphasizing upon children education. This is the only university in the country where we have 3 primary and secondary school on campus. Central Boys School, Central Girls Schools, and Central School. And I tell you, in Banaras, these 3 schools are supposed to be the best. We take care of them. We even have hostels for our boys' school. Children come from far-flung places and they get quality education over here. And eventually, they go for higher studies in BHU or somewhere else. So therefore, my point I am again going to do, if you really want to transform this country, all of us, I would particularly appeal to the students and faculty members who are here. We should give our time, we should give our money, we should donate the money for the cause of primary and secondary education. Unless this becomes a movement of the masses, it is not going to change, because it's a huge country. It's a huge country. All of us have to get involved. And if we do that, I think the dream of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, that India will become a developed country by 2020. I don't think it will become a developed country by 2020, but let us say take another 20 years. First 12 years to educate all our children. I think with no exception, everybody has to go to school, get a quality education, and then, there is a free competition to get into anything you want. You want to become a doctor, you want to become engineer, you want to become a entrepreneur, you want to become a lawyer, manager, trader, anything. If you do that, and that is what Mahamana used to say, that we not only have to teach students, we have to make their good character. So that is very important. Our values are going down. I still remember when I was a child, we used to have one period, they used to call it Acharan. And there, character building was taught by the teachers. And I tell you, I still can hear those words in my ears, how my teacher taught me to be a good human being. And I have practiced all my life. For example, when I was returning from United States to India, people told me that India is a place where you have to give bribe to do anything. I said, I will never bribe anyone. Neither I will bribe nor I will accept bribe. And I could practice in my life without giving bribe, and I am a 69-year-old man who has never given bribe to anyone, who has never accepted bribe to anyone. So these characters have also to be inculcated in the minds of younger children, because if you do not teach them to build the good character, they can never learn it, because when they see the whole country that people are trying to get their things by hook or crook, they learn that. So you have to mold their mind in the childhood. Therefore, at last, I would re-emphasize this point that if we really want to transform this country into a developed country, we have to transform the early education system, particularly primary and secondary education, of very high quality, and then only we can build a good foundation of higher education and eventually get into the culture of innovation and make the technology exporter rather than technology importer. We would like to not only make the, let's say, production house in India. See, for example, I lived in Germany. German economy is very good. Why? Because they are very innovative. So once we start producing our children who have learned very good basic concepts of basic sciences, they will be able to apply those concepts to innovate new products, new services, and eventually to make this country great and transformed into a developed country. With these words, I thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope that some of us will get motivated and spend some time and spend some money to donate so that we can give the opportunities to some unfortunate people to get good primary and secondary education. Thank you very much for your patient listening. And I once again congratulate Shivaji College for their Diamond Jubilee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. As someone quoted, knowledge is power. Power provides information. Information leads to education. Education breeds wisdom. Wisdom is liberation. Sir, the story of your life will encourage our students to strive to work hard and achieve their dreams. They are the future of our nation and require guiding light from eminent educationists like you, sir. Your experience will teach them that every experience, however big or small, can become a learning experience and to always harvest such opportunities for a better future. I thank you, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule to share your experience with our students. I also thank our principal, sir, Dr. Shiv Kumar Sahadev, for his continual support and encouragement. I thank our convener, Dr. Anuradha Mal, and all the members of Diamond Jubilee Committee whose hard work has made today's event a success. I thank my colleagues, retired teachers, and our students, the young Shivajians, for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. It was really an inspiring talk. You all are blessed to have your talk with us, sir. Thank you very much, sir.